Do you like yourself now? When I was young, I did not like myself. But now, I feel happy with who I am. At present, I'm working as a counseling psychologist. And I'm the mother of 3 children. I provide full support to my busy husband, taking care of the household and my children. At the same time, I also participate actively in the activities of the Soka Gakkai. I'm living a very fulfilling and happy life. The doubts I had about life during my youth led me to the answers I have been looking for and made me who I am at present. Life is not only for the sake of oneself, but also for others, especially those who are unfortunate. The sufferings that I had encountered when I was young have become indispensable building blocks for my growth. They enabled me to become a person who strives to be earnest, humble, and empathetic. When I was a child, I was not only physically weak and ill, but also had an inferiority complex because I felt I was poor, not beautiful, not smart in my studies. I felt that I was inferior in every aspect and had zero self-confidence. Due to my frequent illnesses, my family took me everywhere to seek medical treatment. However, my health did not improve and my family constantly faced financial problems. When I was 10 years old, with nothing to lose, I took faith in Nichiren Buddhism with my family and began to chant Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. This was the turning point in my life. Because of the environment that I grew up in, my mind was full of doubts about life. Neither my school nor my family could give me a satisfactory answer. Nonetheless, when I read the works of SGI President Ikeda, his encouragement and philosophy of life enlightened me. He said, university studies should be devoted to serving and contributing to the lives of those who are unable to pursue advanced learning themselves. If we have the ability, students must strive for university education. His words moved me to my core, and he gave me a lofty goal in life. I resolved to pray that I must enter university no matter what. I had a grandmother who loved me very much. When I was 3 years old, she committed suicide and died. I was the first person to discover this. It took me a long time to overcome this shocking experience. I was traumatized and sad, but had no one to pour my heart out to. In fact, looking back, I believe that my grandmother was suffering from depression. Over the years, through learning the teachings of Buddhism, I have realized that it is my family karma of mental illness that has led me to understand my mission as a psychologist today. I'm grateful for my grandmother for enabling me to realize my mission. At first, my family did not support my intention to go to university. Through study in the Gakkai and chanting, I found the wisdom and courage to open up my heart and had a sincere dialogue with my family. I explained to them the reason I chose to study psychology. My sincerity moved my family and I gained their understanding and support. Upon completing my bachelor's degree, my fiancé, who was working in the UK at that time, suggested that I go to further study with him. So in 2003, I went to the UK to start a new chapter in life. Living in a foreign land is full of difficulties. I find it difficult to adapt to the culture, language, and climate. At that time, the 3 universities that I had applied to rejected me. They all suggested that I should find a job first, get familiar with the British culture before attempting a master's degree. This seriously hit my self-confidence. I was deeply frustrated. However, I still went all out to look for relevant job opportunities in the related field. I even wrote to more than 50 different clinics and organizations seeking voluntary work. But in the end, my efforts were all in vain, feeling frustrated. At one point, I even thought of giving up my dreams and flying back to Malaysia. It was the first time I experienced winter. It chilled me to my bones. Chanting in tears, I asked myself, why did I take this difficult path? The sound of chanting reminded me of my initial reason why I decided to study psychology. Am I not determined to become a psychologist for those who suffer and those who are waiting for me to heal them? I must not give up. I must break through with Daimoku. Not long after that, I came across a recruitment advertisement in the newspaper. The job scope was like tailor-made for me. However, I faced the competition from 4 local Britons with higher education and more experiences than me. At that moment, my inferiority complex began to haunt me again. There were negative noises with which constantly interfere with my thoughts and robbed me of my self-confidence. It was like what I had experienced in the past. Fortunately, before the interview, I participated in Buddhist seminar organized by SGI UK. I learned that I need to break through my inner negativity and karmic roots through Daimoku and emerge with courage like those of the Lion King. When I got home, I followed the guidance and chanted with full conviction and fearlessness. After that, I went to the interview with full confidence and answered all the questions calmly with wisdom. Soon after, I received the job offer. I finally got my first job in the UK. I worked and learned diligently. A year later, I was successfully admitted to the postgraduate program of a university. During the final year of my postgraduate studies, I had an internship at a psychiatric hospital. My supervisor was a senior psychologist who was about to retire. She felt that my command of English was not up to her high standards. She was very critical and demanding of my professional ability. Hence, our relationship started off poorly. In front of her, I felt inferior, always thinking that I wasn't good enough. My internship period was like a torture, and I often chanted in tears. Sometimes, I even did not feel like going to work. Years of practicing Buddhism have enabled me to summon strong courage and determination. I told myself that I must not be defeated by myself. I must win the trust and acceptance of the supervisor. My serious attitude at work and impressive feedbacks from my cases finally changed the supervisor's attitude towards me. I once again defeated my weaker self and achieved victory. In 2010, after completing my training as a counseling psychologist in the UK, I returned to Malaysia with my husband and 2-year-old daughter. My friends and relatives could not understand why we decided to come back. Most of the time, people dream of staying in the UK. However, I'm aware that there is an acute shortage of psychological services in Malaysia. Through the valuable knowledge and experience that I had gained, I hope to contribute back to our society and raise awareness of the importance of mental health. The prime point of my faith and my roots of growth remain in Malaysia. I wish to return home and contribute. I want to be a good role model for my children on how to contribute to others as well as expand our life from a lesser self to a greater self. Practicing Nichiren Buddhism makes me feel that no matter how much problems or karma that I have, I can surely transform poison into medicine and karma into mission. I firmly believe that having a correct philosophy of faith can foster us to grow in every stage of life. Coupled with continuous human revolution, we will surely be able to create a better self.